How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. The last little short video I made on some Morel mushrooms, it was pretty good, but it was a short, so I figured I'd do a little bit longer one. I know you guys like them mushroom videos, so we're out here looking, and I found some. We're gonna see if we can get a nest of them. That's a nice sized mushroom. That's a good one. So I'm going to lay these right here. I'll try to get the spores off of them a little bit. And you can see one here. Right here. I'm just going to set them in little piles, and then I'll come back and pick them up. But we want to keep an eye out for where they are. Look at this. Now, as you're close to the ground, keep looking up. And look, you can see one right in there. One right in there. I mean, they just keep going up through here, through these, whatever this stuff is here, they're growing underneath of it. So we'll put those right here. But you got to take your time. You got to look real good. Because if you don't, you'll step on them. Oh boy. Look here. Look right in there. There's one there, one there, one there. One here. One over here. I'll just put them in this pile right here as we go up through here. Now some of them will get like this and the tops of them look bad. Now this one here is pretty bad. I wouldn't use this one, but I usually break them up, throw them back on the ground. The spores get into the ground. Pretty nice. Let's get this mess out of here. Look at these down in here. Look at this. One there. One here. Those are all pretty big ones. Look at that. Bigger than my hand can hold. Look at that. I was just down here putting my mushrooms in that pile. And look at here. There's another one here. I did see another big one up here somewhere. Look at this one. Look at the size of that thing. It's a monster. Yeah, just broke the top, but he'll work. Okay. That's a nice mess of mushrooms already. If you just stop and scan the ground, you might find some more. Looking up through there. Don't worry about getting every single one of them. You gotta leave some seedlings. So that's a nice little mess there, and we'll just work our way down this hill. And we'll come back and we'll pick those up. There's another one. Another big one. Now this is one I was talking about with the top. Now you can see this got a little frost or something got the tip of it, but you can cut that off. Cut the bottom off and eat it. That's a good mushroom. And that. That's a big one there. Alright, I think we did pretty good. We found a good bit, a really nice mess of mushrooms. It's really weird because sometimes I'll find them at the top of the hill, or at the middle of the hill, or at the bottom of the hill. And not in the same place every year. They're scattered out. Be like a mess here, and then next year there won't be a mess there. They'll move to another spot. It's kind of crazy. But we're going to get these mushrooms back to the house and get them cleaned up and see what we have. Alright, we got our mushrooms back to the house, and like I said, where this frost has got the top of that, we're just going to cut that off. This is still a good mushroom. Now what I do is I cut them in half. I want to cut these guys in half because inside of them is millions and millions of little tiny bugs. So those of you guys who stuff these things without cutting them in half and soaking them in salt water, I guess you're getting a little extra protein. So we just cut them in half. And Julie's going to get me a nice big bowl, hopefully. And we're going to be soaking these guys. Everything gets cut in half at least once. Got to use a sharp knife. If you got a dull knife, you're going to break up your mushrooms. You don't want to break your mushrooms up. Got to be a sharp knife to be able to cut through these mushrooms. This is actually a pretty decent haul on the mushrooms. It's pretty good. Look at this. Look inside there. It's clear full of ants. Another thing you'll get in there is slugs. See, that's a slug. Still a lot of ants too. That's why I always cut mine in half. Alright, so we got our mushrooms in a big bowl. We're going to soak them for a little bit in some salt water and rinse them up, and then we're going to have a little bit of these for breakfast. Alright. We're going to be doing some breakfast bowls. I usually do these for the week, and a lot of times we call them garbage bowls because we take all the garbage that was in the refrigerator, like lunch meat and stuff that wasn't eaten up, or maybe vegetables or something, and I'll put them on the flat stone, and we'll make bowls for breakfast. I'll eat these for work all week. Now there's some ham in there, there's bologna in there, there's green peppers from last year, we got onions, and then we got our morel mushrooms, and we're going to cook these up, let them cook down, and then we're going to get us some eggs, and we'll put some eggs in there, and then I'll separate these in bowls, different bowls for throughout the week. I'll eat them. Go to work 4 days, so the next 4 days I'll eat one bowl. Now once I get it all done like this, that's pretty much done. We'll go ahead and put it on this big plate and we'll let it cool. Well, we hunted them, we cleaned them, we cooked them, now it's time to eat them. It's a lot of work doing all that, but I'll tell you what, the rewards are great. Now what I'll do with this is there's a whole bunch of it. So we'll separate that into, I work 4 days a week. We'll separate that in 4 bowls. And then every morning when I get up, I can grab one of them bowls and I'll have me a breakfast bowl. And I'm trying to lay off the carbs as much as I can. So there'll be no bread, very little carbs in this meal. Actually, it's really good. I love that wood fired garlic. That's got a really good flavor, smoky flavor to it. It's really good. Pretty easy to cook this stuff up. I love doing it on the flat top because you can do a whole bunch at one time. And this is one way for me to kind of cut out a bunch of the carbs. I know all that fried food, not supposed to be good for you, but I've lost about 15 pounds so far, 14, 15 pounds. So it must be doing something. So I would like to tell everyone thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you like. Till next time. Cheesy. Can't beat them Morels.